Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman or God, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananji Maharaj, to all the sages and saints of this world, and to each of you, divine soul, watching today's satsang. So today we will be covering Sutra number 37 from the Vibhuti Pad of the Raja Yoga Sutras of Patanjali Maharaj. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj, and narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. So let's get started on Sutra number 37, Vibhuti Pad. It says, Te samadhau upasarga vyuthane siddhayaha. Again, Te samadhau upasarga vyuthane siddhayaha. Meaning, the supersensory perceptions that we had described in the previous sutra, they are obstacles to the practice of asampragyat samadhi, which is the highest samadhi, because these siddhis belong to the outgoing mind. So this is quite a cautionary comment from sage Patanjali to all of us, that as these powers start to manifest for those serious students who are following this holy path in a prescribed manner, then they are saying that these are still considered obstacles. Even though you have siddhis of sight, sound, taste, touch, they become obstacles during your higher samadhi. Remember the previous lower samadhis we had talked about, sampragyat samadhis. Those are 6 kinds. So once we go from that hierarchical process, then we eventually reach to asampragyat samadhi, which is the highest samadhi without seed. It's called the nirbij avastha. There is no seed state in there, and therefore that is getting us very close to Kevalya or to liberation. And therefore sage Patanjali is guiding us. Let us not get stuck with these siddhis or powers that we are able to become clairvoyant, and we can clairaudience, we can hear from thousands of miles away. These things start to inflate the ego, and then one says, oh, I'm so powerful, I have all these powers. And this is where sage Patanjali is guiding us, that as soon as we think that, we will start declining. Our progress will reduce. Why? Because we let our ego come in the way, and therefore the impurities start again, and our progress stops. So this path is for the humble, the holy, the selfless, the really honest and caring people who want to make a difference in this world. If somebody wants to quickly get rich or quickly wants to get name and fame through these siddhis, they will not work. They will destroy them instead. So therefore we have to be very cautious on this path, and it is therefore so few people walk on it. But all these things are even attainable today. There are so many yogis in India, in the Himalayan caves, and so many realized people who have these, but who has it will never tell you that he has it. He will be humbler than a blade of grass. You would not even know. So because this is not a worldly process, you see, this is a spiritual process, and connecting with God is much deeper and much better than anything the world can ever give us. So these saints and sages are beyond our comprehension. But that's what in this sutra sage Patanjali is trying to guide us, that be very careful of these supersensory perceptions that we acquire, because attachment to any state of consciousness that is associated with matter is a cause of pain. Because again, we are listening to things, we are smelling things, we are touching things which belong to Prakriti or Maya or nature. So therefore these things are eventually painful. Our body is eventually painful. It has to go one day, whether we like it or not. When we get sick, we go through so much pain. So therefore, it's to remind us that don't get stuck in these small little visions of progress. These siddhis do not allow a person to withdraw himself from the mind and its intuitive functions. So many people get stuck right here and they don't progress anymore. even though this itself is a very commendable achievement to be able to do things, but then to just get stuck there is really painful, because you have not broken the cycle of birth and death, and you will continue, you'll have to keep coming back till you complete the cycle. So therefore, one desirous of attaining asampragyat samadhi, which is the samadhi of seedless state, and that is where you will get liberation. We cannot get it in the lower samadhi, those are only progressive steps. So therefore, a sadhak must develop vairagya or dispassion towards all these lower achievements and powers. I hope first of all, these things are there, they're real, they do happen, and second of all, the guidance is also there on how to handle these mysteries. So I hope we all continue to walk on this path, and we continue to make progress and enjoy the mystic depth of these sutras. This is Swami Nikhilananda. We will cover more in the next video. Om Tat Sat.